Hey, go read a book. Or get a book that you can put your Super Nintendo and Super Famicom games into, put them on your shelf and keep them safe. Let's take a look. Before we get into this awesome storage solution that encompasses Super Nintendo and Super Famicom games, I do want to remind you that subscribing to the channel is the best thing for the channel. If you subscribe and watch and hit the like button, it helps us keep going, so thanks to all the people who do that. So today what we have comes from a company called Book4Games. This was sent to me by Book4Games. I reached out to them to try to get a review copy, and I also purchased one on my own so that I can kind of feel the weight of the cost of this thing versus what you're getting. So what we have is the Book4Games Precision Game Storage. This is a book that is designed to store your Super Nintendo or Super Famicom games. But the one I'm reviewing specifically is for Super Nintendo games because I happen to have only Super Nintendo games to test. If I had a bunch of Super Famicom games, I'd probably go out there and get a Super Famicom version as well to kind of go over and test. So what is this product and what makes it interesting for somebody with games or a game room or just a game space in general? Well, it's a book that you can take your games, put them into, and protect them on your shelf. Now, every book holds 4 different games, and I do think that is one of the things that a lot of people are going to bring up. It's only 4 games. I'm going to hear that a lot in the comment section. I know that's coming. But if you only had a few games that you were meaning to protect and you wanted to store, you didn't want to display them out on your shelf, and you wanted to store them on your shelf in an interesting way, this is probably the thing to look at. Now, how exactly have they gone about their storage solution here? Well, they have some cutouts in here with a foam that's surrounding so that your game goes in there and is kind of tightly packed into these little zones. It's not tight that it's going to damage your cart or anything like that, and the foam itself is very high quality and super thick. The entire black area here that is inside of this box is this really high quality foam. I think the biggest problem with the foam is it's going to show dust really easily, so when you open this, you might want to open it up in a really clean area. It's got kind of a felt finish to it that feels really nice and premium as well, and it holds your cartridges really tight in there so that they're not going to rattle around or fall out. Now, the box itself is made out of some sort of cardboard material. This cardboard material is everywhere here, including the little insert that's inside the box, and they have some magnets embedded in the little flap that goes over the entire thing, which I think is a really nice touch. Having this flap that goes across the front kind of locks everything in, keeps it closed. No dust is going in there. It's gonna be an excellent solution for storing your games. Now, when it comes to the actual quality of this cardboard material on the outside, I do have some concerns with that. I think it's gonna be really easy to beat it up. If you just so much as pressed a pen against it slightly, you're gonna get a dent in the material and in the finish on the outside of this. That's just something to keep in mind. If you do get one of these, you're gonna wanna really take care of it, not drop it on the floor or bump it into other things, because every bump and bang across the way is gonna be showing up on the artwork on the outside of this. But that cardboard on the outside has this nice vinyl covering over the top of it that kind of keeps it all that nice color, and it has that beautiful design of the Super Nintendo on there with that big purple line at the bottom to just nail down that awesome feeling of the Super Nintendo back in the day and all of that nostalgia. I really have to hand it to the company for going the extra mile to put in the footwork to make a really nice design that looks good as well as functions well. I love the artwork. I think it's 99.9% awesome. If I had to be critical about it, I would move the Book4Games logo. I would move that somewhere else to the back side of it just to kind of notate what the product is. Because the average person who's going to be taking this and putting it in and taking it out of their shelf, they're probably not going to really care for a big giant logo to be in the lower right hand corner of their product. Now, one of the things I really love about this product, and I think is pretty cool, especially for somebody like me that collects vinyl, is that this will fit in nicely with your vinyl records because it's generally the same size as them in their sleeves. And for those of you at home, that should give you a really good idea of what the size of this thing is, where it can go, and that kind of thing. But as far as books goes, this might not go on your average bookshelf. You might need one of those taller bookshelves for some of your taller books if you're gonna put this with your books at all. It's definitely a big boy. And before I forget, there's also some awesome graphic design that's inside of the book itself of the Super Nintendo cartridges. This lays kind of back behind where you'll be putting your Super Nintendo games. It's really nice. I think it's printed on a piece of paper that kind of lays underneath of all of this foam back there. And to me, it's those little touches that really Makes me very interested in a product like this. You're making the whole thing look really good. You've got a lot of great graphic design work, and then it just comes down to how does it function. And another really nice feature that they add in when you do purchase one of these, they send this nice little sheet of these kind of reflective stickers that you can take, and there's a little spot at the spine of these books that you can take these and put on. The stickers are a bunch of different brandings as well as letters, so you can notate what your book is for, what's in there. If you had 100 of these and you were going to do your whole collection, you could do it alphabetically and have your A games in these and your G games over there. It just kind of opens up a little bit of customizability, and I definitely appreciate that. So what are the main functions of this? Well, it stores your games. It's a place to put 4 of your Super Nintendo games into one of these books, but it also has claims of protecting against dust, light, and humidity. And I can definitely tell you that this is going to protect your games against dust as well as light. I mean, it's going inside of a thing. It's going to protect it from all those little dust particles getting inside of it. It's sealed enough that none of those dust particles are going to get inside outside of what you let in on your own. So when it comes to those fronts, I think it's excellent. Protecting against the dust and the light is really important if you want to keep a game exactly like you had it when you were a kid. Now on the humidity side of things, I have no idea. I'm no scientist. I don't have a tool to measure the humidity inside of this or outside of this. I'm definitely skeptical of that claim. Another interesting thing about this product is that they of course have their Super Famicom product that I talked about earlier, that other version, but they also have a special edition that comes with this kind of gold trim around it. And I definitely haven't gotten any of these special editions to test out or anything like that, but according to the listing, they do have an extra piece of foam inside that would kind of face at the front of your cartridges when it closed. Those boxes are also supposed to be thicker than these traditional ones that I have here, and I believe those are a limited production, so they're only making a certain amount of them, and once they're sold, I think they're gone unless they do a second run of them later down the line. But what's interesting to me about all these different versions and different ideas of these products is that they are making different ones in the future. They have plans to make these books for other things in the future that I think might even be more exciting than Super Nintendo games. On their main website, you can find, scrolling down to the bottom, that they do plan on making a book for Game Boy games, which I am of course excited about. I'm heavily biased against anything that is a display or storage product for Game Boy games because I love Game Boy games. But their other book that they are planning on making is also highly interesting to me as well. As a handheld lover, they're planning on making these Game & Watch books as well. I can only hope that all of these are going to be the same size. All these books will be exactly the same size and look really nice alongside of each other. So yeah, it definitely makes me excited for Book4Games' future and what they're going to be getting into. Maybe someday we'll have an entire line of these covering all the cartridges that exist out there to store and take care of our games on the shelf. So the question is, who is this product for? Who is it designed to target overall? I do think it's targeted at game collectors. I don't think it's targeted at their game collections. I think it's more for people who have a few games that they really, really want to take care of, and they can put them into this and store it on their shelf and be totally happy that it's not going to get scratched or dust on or have extra light spraying onto it, causing it to yellow over time. So I would definitely put this into the more specialty case category. Some of these people that are at home that grew up with Super Nintendo games maybe just have a few different Super Nintendo games that they want to store in a cool, fashionable way, and this is definitely that product right here. Now, where do you buy this? How much does it cost? Well, it's 20 bucks. This whole product costs $20. I think that's a fantastic value for what you're getting. You're getting a big book that holds 4 different games in a really stylish manner. They've done a great job of making it look awesome. And $20, that's not that bad for something that is specialty proven for your games. But as far as where to get these, you can get these at PlayAsia. I do believe they are an exclusive to PlayAsia at the moment. I do want to see Book4Games kind of move into other avenues of selling these, maybe have a shop on their website itself, or start selling through a company like Amazon so more people can get these. So after seeing this review of the product and all of these different facets, the pros, the cons, the book itself, from the exterior to the interior, what do you think about it? Do you think that it is a good solution for somebody with a few different games? Do you think it's a good solution for somebody with a few games that they want to protect on a shelf? Do you think there's some things that they can do to kind of make this a more widely acceptable product for bigger groups of people? Let that stuff fly in the comments down below. You know, these people who are manufacturing it and the companies that are selling it are always looking around at all of those ideas. So any ideas you have, I'm sure will help them out. These guys are making stuff for us, for our games, for our game collections, and I'm sure they love to hear it. So thanks for coming and checking out Discard today. I definitely appreciate you coming by. What I do here is definitely a weird niche world of things. I look for game displays, storage solutions, things for your game room, and just general tips for your game spaces. And it's a kind of a difficult area to navigate. Anytime you view the channel, anytime you subscribe to the channel really helps me out. I appreciate you guys coming by today. And collect what you love. You like books? You like games? You like storing your games in a nice, good way that keeps them safe and dust-free and nice and good and safe and dust-free and store them and or maybe display them? You know, everyone all the time, they're telling you to go outside and read a book and do all these other things outside of gaming. And I say this is probably an answer to at least half of those things. It's a book. You know what you should do? You should go outside and read a book. You ever wish that there was a book that you would enjoy more than other books, and you could put your games into it and store them and keep them safe and not have them in the sun and the dust would be off of them forever? Well, you can't read it though. There's no reading this book. There's no words in here. This is one sad excuse for a book. And put it on your shelf. Very much like this. Something in there, dude.